Welcome to the Plead the Fifth podcast, recorded in the Bullhucker studio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Unless you're new here, this is your first time, welcome aboard, man. Hope you like what you see and check us out some more. We're recording here at the Bullhucker studio in the bowels of the Brush Emporium, 210 Clayton Street. In this episode, we have two old remaining Bullhuckers, from the old podcast. We have the talented Mr. Finley, Josh, that you know who, and Dani Ketchum, also a frequently returning person to our podcast. In this episode, they're going to answer 12 questions apiece about everything from conspiracy theories to how they spend money to everything in between. If you like what you see, on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little red dot. That's our subscribe button, man. Go and click that. It's a small click for you and a huge click for us. Now time for the podcast.
Rawr. Rawr.
Rawr. I got T-Rex arms. Rawr.
It's not fair.
So my son is a huge dinosaur dude. And so, the descendant of the T-Rex is the chicken, supposedly, right?
Shut up.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
It is. Like, the closest descendant to the T-Rex is supposedly the chicken.
Okay.
But, so my theory is after watching, he loves Jurassic Park, all these, and I'm like, how are we sure that the dinosaurs even had scales? Like, they tell us they're, lizard-like, and they go, rawr!
Dude, the T-Rex
are you sure they don't just
looks like an ostrich. Instead of little arms, it looks like how the ostrich arms are.
Right.
If you just pop them backwards, that's how the wings off of an ostrich looks.
I mean,
Dead serious.
Look at any reptile today. Is there anything like this? Is there any, nothing. There's not one reptile around today. So I told my son, I was like, are you sure, we're not just watching some BS right now? Rawr, cock-a-doodle-doo.
But literally, you look at friggin', the ostrich arms.
Yeah.
How it looks in their wings. It
Chicken's
looks like
the
the
same.
exact,
Chicken's the
and
same.
it
They
looks
come back.
exactly the same. Only if you invert them this way.
Welcome to the Weird Fun Fact Podcast.
Oh shit, we're already on.
Useless knowledge.
Useless
Tuesday.
Knowledge Podcast. I think that chicken T-Rex is some bullshit. But you know what? You guys do you.
Look it up.
Each
Look
you
it
grab
up.
a tie.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Here we
shit.
go.
All right, you both roll at the same time. That's where we're going to start.
1, 2, 3. Oh, you smacked that.
Five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's where we're going to start. You guys ready to answer some questions?
Yep.
Get the show on the road?
Ready.
They're playing bingo upstairs, so if you guys hear it at home, that's what's happening. So, all right. Who wrote the bigger one? Joshua, you did, so you're going first. How
No,
about that?
she did.
You got three,
I was
champ.
2.
I got that.
Oh, you got 3.
Mine
Daniel.
went that way.
Daniel, you're going first. We good?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Dani, what in life do you take for granted the most?
Time.
Time.
Time with all my loved ones.
Yeah.
So, just the fact that my daughter is almost 21, my granddaughter is almost 2. My mom is, I take care of my mom, so.
Yeah.
And we just went to my uncle's 80th birthday party where I made a giant 6-foot poster with Casey graphics.
Yeah.
That it was him when he was 60 and when we were all in Hawaii.
Oh, that's cool.
It gets crazy to me, though, that it's been 20 years
Flies
since.
by.
It does.
Flies by.
It really does.
Woke up old one day. It sucked.
Right?
Wake up every day.
Yeah.
Now.
At one point in time, that was 3 gray hairs.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
told everybody, that's my Swedish coming out. Those are blonde hairs. They're like, okay, Larry.
Okay.
Yeah. Larry's
my
going,
Swedish coming out.
Yeah. I'm part Swede, losers. So
Oh, my God.
turns out I was getting old as shit, but beats the alternative. So, all right.
Right.
Joshua, what's one thing in life you take for granted?
Well, it's funny that we started with this because this is the question that I said when we got here. This question came from another, or this answer came from another question in this list because what's funny is my original one was time. That's what I had originally wrote down, but after I started going through the list, I was just answering as I could. I realized that, one of the other questions we'll talk about, which is going to be a non-answer. I hate to say that, but the things around us.
Yeah.
You talk about colors and shapes and trees and birds and things like that. And so one of the other questions in this, which I guess I have to put out there, is how would you explain color to a blind person, right? And so you think about that for a minute, and one of the simplest things in our life is color, right? We think of that, you think on the scale of trying to explain something to somebody, color's got to be one of the simplest things. Try to explain Kookaburra to a blind person.
Yeah.
Try to explain a tree to a blind person. Try to explain anything to a blind person, or explain sound, like Jimi Hendrix. His riffs. How do you explain that to a deaf person? Like, I don't think that's even possible. So this, I think, what I take advantage or take granted for the most is just everything around me at any given time. Like Ferris Bueller says, hey, you got to slow down, take a look around, or it's going to pass you by. That exact thing, because that's what I think. When you slow down, listen to the birds a little bit, listen to the wind in the trees, that's the type of thing that I think, my favorite thing to do is to get home. I'll start a fire on a good day, sit out there in a lawn chair and just listen to the wind, listen to the birds, do that sort of thing. My wife comes out and goes, what are you thinking about? I'm like, nothing. Well, it's not possible to think of nothing. Well, yeah, it fucking is till you got here. But that's the thing I think.
Why did you explain that so much better than I did?
I don't know, but that's what I say. I think we just take for granted of all the. I mean, we live in a beautiful time. You have air, you have trees, you have gravity, you have all these things that make it possible for us to live this life. And I think some of us just wake up every day and think,
you don't pay attention to it.
Don't even pay attention. It's just another thing. You turn on your music, your phone, you look at your feed, you're thinking.
You get to work, you do your thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, though, I'll correct you, though. Deaf people can tell the difference vibrations from the music, you know what I mean? So.
All right, we'll fuck up that theory.
Yeah. Allow me to shit all over you real quick, Josh. That's what I want.
Well, explain a Kookaburra to a blind person, all right, real quick, and I'll wait.
By the way, that came from Brandon Lake. That was episode 3. If you guys have questions you want to leave for the later episodes, by all means. So, Josh, we're going to stick with you. Josh, what is one thing about your job that you wish more people understood? What do you do for a living?
So I'm a maintenance director at an assisted living center, and which means essentially half of my job is either plunging toilets or putting TVs back on the right input most of the day.
Yeah.
So what I think, what did I say in there? That they give me more than I give them, because when I get into work every day, I didn't sometimes get to ask the questions to my grandparents that I probably should have when I had the time. So when I go in and I hear their stories and I hear the things that they've done in their lives, like, that's the part that, beyond pay, beyond vacation, beyond all that, that's what means the most to me.
That's cool. That's what they do. Okay. All right. Yeah. Dani, what's one thing about your job that you wish more people understood? What do you do, first of all?
So, bartender, waitress. That you don't just have to be, like, simple-minded. Oh, you just write an order down. You do your job.
Yeah.
Bring their food out. Bring their drink out. Honestly, I have to adjust my personality to each person that I work with. Mm-hmm. Like, the elderly couple, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, how was your day? Everything's great. But then there's the drunk guy at the bar that I'm going, oh my gosh, you're so validated by, like, just the personality shifts that I have to do between each person.
Right.
And you've bartended before, so you understand. But just, like, it's not just this mindless job. We have to literally sit there and adjust our personalities to each person to make them feel validated in their life at the point. Like, it's not even necessarily for the tip, but just to let them have a good experience.
Right. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I bartended. Here's what you don't understand. My name is.
Oh yeah, and you have to understand who you can yell at and be like, they're just like, one person is just having a bad day and is like, I need another beer now, or oh my gosh, this person is literally going through a life crisis and I'm going to give them more attention.
Yeah.
Kind of situation.
I'm not. When they whistle at me, I'm like, "Did you lose your dog, champ?" Because
who you need to be. Okay, this is the nicest way I can put it. Who you need to be a bitch to, and who you coddle to.
Thank you. Okay, that's better right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told many people, man, people, you're gonna die of thirst over here, champ. You know, that's gonna happen.
But if there's a person that's just like waving at the end, and being like, "Can I please have another beer?" Like, obviously you're gonna give them more, but people don't understand that. You don't have to just be mindless, take an order, do whatever for that job.
What's the worst pickup line that ever been thrown at you?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Jesus.
As a bartender waitress.
You gotta get
being a female, that's I guarantee.
I'm sure.
Nice shoes.
What?
Wanna fuck?
Okay. Unoriginal.
And I still say this to this day. And now there is somebody that is very close to me. Now I'm going to send this to him.
Okay.
That I'm very good friends with because he asked me the same question years ago.
All right.
And he's still, every time he sees me, he's like, nice shoes. So now I'm going to have to send this to him because he's going to be like.
we were breaking down the bar.
He wasn't the one that did it.
No. Okay.
He asked me that same question.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We don't need to go too much information.
Exactly.
Right. Let's keep it on the low.
Yeah.
It was the end of the night. I'm cleaning up the bar, and Rachel, my friend, was a waitress. She's clearing off her tables and dumping everything. This guy walks up to her. He's hammered. He's so drunk, and he says, "Hey, I need to mile your shit just to find out where it came from." And she looked at me, and I'm like, "I can't tell. I can't tell if he's insulting you or he's hitting on you. I can't tell."
Is that a good or bad thing?
Yeah, that's you know what? I call his bluff.
Right.
You know, after we have breakfast, I'll start the mile. You know what I mean? Let's do it. So, yeah.
I think you met my friend because that was his, not the nice shoes, but he would just literally walk up to girls and be like, "You want to fuck?" And he's like, law of averages says one of them in here is going to go. And he never went home alone. He never did.
That's just
I mean,
sad.
I'm not saying she was a 10. There were some ones in there for sure, but we might have went home alone.
This guy went home alone because Rachel was like, I can't.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah,
That's a rough one.
I don't know if that's okay. Great answers. Danny, we're going to stick with you. Danny, if you were given the commencement speech at a high school, what's the one piece of life advice you would give the kids?
To not falter from your beliefs.
Okay.
So if your aunt and your cousin and whatever don't like what you're doing,
Right.
it's your life.
Right.
It's your choice. Even if your parents don't like what you're doing, just do you.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna come back to you if that's the divine intervention
Yeah.
in my own personal choice.
Right.
But just don't falter from your own beliefs.
Yeah.
Your mom's religious, cultural, anything beliefs
Yeah. don't
matter to what you believe.
Okay.
Damn you, because that was the second one that wanted to make me cry.
Well,
There were two questions. You've already gotten those two questions out of the way, so we're done.
They're out of the way. So
We're done on the ones that want to make me cry.
Josh, if you were given the commencement speech at a high school, what's the one piece of life advice you would give the kids?
So I'm going to steal this from somebody else because it's not mine, but it's made a big difference in my life. I listened to a guy called Sadhguru, and one of his speeches that I heard originally that got me hooked on him was the fact that he talks about, and this goes back to another thing, time. He says, you think of your life like a clock. You're born, and the clock starts, and when you die, that clock's going to end. But he says, you look at your watch, and all these minutes that are ticking by, seconds. Not even, and all those things that you take for granted, especially when you're younger. Like most of my early life wasted. I mean, there's a lot of good memories, a lot of good things built from it, but there's a lot of other things I could have done better. Right. And so looking at it this way, telling them, hey, you look at your clock now and you think this commencement's taking forever, it's going to be this long, whatever, but it's 6:07 now, and it's going to be 6:08, and you're not going to get that minute back ever again. So people look for the end of their life and what's going to happen at the end of their life. I'm going to go to heaven. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do whatever. You're looking for the end game. When right now on this life right here, you could be living in a heaven and fucking it up.
Right.
I mean, how did all this come together to make sure that we all got in the same spot at the same time? We're all able to exist and you can experience what's around you right now. Who's to say that you're not already there and you're fucking it up or not being appreciative of what you have? Right. And so for me, that was huge in my life, but I didn't learn it till I was mid-30s, late 30s, And so now when I look at things different, I look back and I'm like, those moments that, you're at grandma's house on Christmas and you're like, God, I just want to go play with my fucking trucks. Do we gotta sit here?
All over again.
But those are times that I wish I could go back and change, and I could say, I'd love to say, well, invest in Apple. Well, that's great. Yeah. Well, you don't know that. I don't know what the next big hit is, but those are things that are never going to change. Those experiences. So that's what I would tell them.
That's a great answer. I never answered this. Mine would be to tell young people to two rules in life. First of all, try everything. Try everything once. As long as, in two rules, you're not hurting yourself and you're not hurting anybody else. Yep. You know what I mean? Other than that, don't let your Don't let your regret, don't let your insecurities rule your life. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Do it all, man. Try everything. Like I said.
You guys both said it way better than I did.
I mean, I was going to say it, but I want to hurt her feelings. Like, I felt that way too, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah. Just like don't let anybody rule your life and just you do you, boo.
Yeah. But you won't learn that in life, right?
No.
I mean, you'll have to learn it the hard way. Everybody does. So,
Everybody does.
Yeah, commencement teachers are tough because the kids are like, "Where are we drinking tonight?"
That's it. Like you're taking up my time. Right?
Yes. You're old and you've lived life. We get it. Good for you.
The mountains aren't blue anymore. God damn it.
Slow clap for the old man. All right, Danny or Josh, let's stick with you.
All right.
Josh, what is the most awkward conversation you've had with your parents? And by the way, this comes from Jacob Norris, of course.
This one's rough.
This one was easy for me.
I mean, it's easy. It's the roughest conversation I've ever had to have, but it's not one you want to just throw out to the public. Phone sex bills to mom. I'd explain that shit at 12 years old.
12 years old?
12. Yeah, 12. Yeah.
What, 800 suck dick or
Oh, no,
something?
it was 9. It was 900. Oh, it was 900. Yeah, there was no 800 involved in the thing.
800 was free, wasn't it, back in the day?
Oh, wait, no,
believe
sorry,
so.
900.
Yeah,
my
it's
bad.
1-900. Yeah, that's a deal.
Wait, so you were calling these numbers.
Oh, yeah.
What was the bill?
Oh, it was pretty steep. Let's just say that. It was several $100s. I mean, it's like $5 a minute. Fuck, dude. Like,
What happened? How did it end up?
not good. When mom comes to you and says, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one that gets
I
him
was
to
like,
cry?
I laugh when I cry,
I know,
laugh when I cry when
yeah.
But seriously, like, 12 years old, it wasn't your sister, they can call and listen to the voice, like, whatever, which has to be disturbing on the other side of the thing. But God damn, like, for real, that's a conversation you got to have with mom, and that was a rough day.
What about the poor girl on the other line that had to talk to a 12-year-old?
As opposed to a dirty old man, probably not as bad.
What's your boobs look like? Boobs?
It probably didn't last that long. I'm not saying the conversations were long. There was just a lot of them.
We called a psychic from Wendy's one time before I left, and that bill came after I left.
I know exactly that commercial.
Yeah, not the Jamaican lady, but
okay.
Yeah, we went low.
Miss Chloe or Cleo or whatever.
We went a little cheaper because couldn't afford Miss Chloe. A lot of modesty. All right, Danny. If you were, I'm sorry. What is the most awkward conversation you've had with your parents?
Hands down, when I had to tell my mom that I was pregnant at 17.
Yeah.
So, but the best part is like, my daughter's dad, I made him sit closer to my mom, and he had to tell her. And I was sitting, it was like the L-shaped couch.
Is he older or younger? Is same age?
Like
Close.
2.5 years older.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I made him tell her, and all she did was run around the couch and put me in a headlock. Mind you, okay, so she had just turned 50. My sister was already married, and she said, I'm ready to be a grandma. And then I found out like 2 weeks later.
That's gonna
So
happen.
she runs around the edge of the couch. She puts me in a headlock, and she goes, I met your sister, you stupid bitch. But that way, I had to be the most awkward.
I'm with child. You're hurting me. I'm with child.
I know, but she didn't even try to fuck up my daughter's dad.
Yeah.
She came running around.
Right.
Like, because I tried to put him closer.
That is becoming a very popular answer for this podcast for that question. When I tell my parents I was pregnant. Yeah.
So the best part is probably the next awkward part of it was there was no relationship with my dad for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So when my daughter was 4 months old, I told my daughter's dad that I was pregnant, that like he had a 4-month-old granddaughter, and he just hung up on me. Wow. And I was like, oh, no wonder you were no longer in our lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, she literally just put me in a headlock, and she goes, I love you, but I met your sister, you stupid bitch. I was like, I love you too, Mom.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the class reunion and say I'm a grandma.
Yeah.
We figured it out. Everything was great.
Yeah.
Everything was great. But that was her first reaction was, oh.
That's my mom told me. That day she came home, well, my great aunt had found out. He was going to snitch on her.
Oh.
And I guess it was his mom said that. Ruthie called and said, I know your secret, and I'm going to tell your mother unless you tell her first. And so
no.
I guess, my grandma was like, where's our policy? They're all worried about the hospital thing, obviously
Right.
now. But so that was that's a pretty popular answer for this question. So, all right, Danny, we'll stick with you. Danny, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
Hands down, it would be like Cajun boil.
Yeah.
But crawfish have to be included. Because,
Okay.
so it'd be like lobster, crab, shrimp, everything, plus crawfish. Because Roger, that owns the Last Stand in Waldona,
Yeah.
every year when I was a little girl, I was best friends with his daughter. And me and Shauna would be in the ditch at the head gate holding the net. And we had a crawfish boil every year at Roger's house
Nice.
when I was a kid.
Nice.
So I love crawfish.
Yeah.
But also, I would add to it my grandpa's sauce,
All right.
spaghetti sauce.
Is your grandpa still around? No. That's gonna be a tough pull.
He's been
That's gonna
dead
be a
since I
tough
was
pull.
7. But I could give him the, I learned the recipe when I was
All
a
right.
kid.
All right.
Or, just let me out for a minute and let me go cook it. I know I gotta die.
Yes, give me
but
some sharp
I'm gonna
weapons but steaming
but just let me go cook some stuff.
Yeah. All right.
What's
Yeah.
that movie with Russell? I think it's Russell Crowe, not Russell Crowe, where he gets in. He comes back to kill the guys that killed his family or whatever, and he's on prison. And they were like, "What do you want to eat?" And he's like, "I want a steak from this restaurant with the greens just right and all this stuff." And then he ends up shanking his roommate or whatever. But that's what I'm hearing right here. It's
I'd be like,
grandpa's sauce. I'm gonna need this type of horseradish.
I don't know what
whatever.
kind of redneck shit that was where they're out catching their own crawfish at the dam.
Dude, I've done that for sure.
Goddamn hillbillies.
Come on.
I'm not that.
Like, we had to do it the
I'm
hard
a
way.
valley hillbilly,
We were
not
using-
freaking deep south hillbilly.
We always use
Well, it makes you
baskets.
sleep at
like,
night.
yeah, I mean,
We
we
used
use,
to catch crawdads when I was younger in the ditch here in Brush, but
Yeah.
we never ate them. I'll just say that.
Okay, so no, me and Shauna used to in the ditch in front of my house, and they'd be like, at first we didn't know what was pinching us because we were just trying to cool off in the summer. No. So that's how me and her started figuring out about crawfish, and all of a sudden we're like, what the hell is that?
they're everywhere.
And then the ditch would get a little bit lower, and we saw what was pinching us. And so me and her started learning how to we'd catch them out of the ditch, which I taught my daughter this trick too. And she's been trying to teach my granddaughter this trick of just pinching, just really quick grabbing them.
Yeah.
But we would come in with 2 or 3 little crawfish this big.
Yeah.
And me and Shauna would be cooking them in the kitchen, and my mom would walk out, and she was like, "The hell are you guys doing? They're not even big enough to eat." And we were like, "We're gonna eat them."
My good friend Tim, his dad was a Vietnam veteran, fisherman, hunter, all that stuff. I was giving Tim a ride home from work one day, and Tim's in high school still. I might have been 19. We hit a squirrel. And Tim goes, "Don't tell my dad we hit a squirrel and left it." I go, "Why?" He's all, "Because them's good eating." And I start laughing. I start laughing because I think that's funny. And then I see by looking at his face, "Oh, you're serious. Your dad eats these goddamn things." So, yeah, Tim's a little redneck too, so God bless him. Joshua, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
This is easy, man. Chocolate chip cookies and milk. That's my favorite. That's my shit.
What chocolate
My
chip
shit.
cookies?
Well, if I had my druthers about it, they'd have to be grandma's. But I'm not gonna be too picky like grandpa's sauce. But if they crumble, I can't stand crumble cookies. Those are the just full of sugar and grease. But there's a place in Greeley, Eileen's Cookies, that's a little mom and pop shop, and those are super good. So if I can't get the other, then I'm going that way.
Somebody makes cookies.
I eat cookies.
All right.
You gotta make some cookies.
Yeah.
He ain't on death row yet though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just prepping for it.
You
know?
call me.
Yeah.
I'll start kissing ass over here and get some
Exactly.
cookies made. So that's a pretty wild answer. Cookies and milk.
Oh, I love it.
Why not, right?
Dude, I've said that all along since I was a little kid. I said if I ever go to death row, that'll be my meal.
Yeah.
So that was an easy
That's
question.
like Jeffrey Dahmer shit. One little no, because he did one little tiny thing. I follow a TikTok page where it's every murderer's
All right.
profile.
I got
what they wanted to do.
a weird question for you later.
Okay.
But my answer would be whatever gave me the worst case of diarrhea. That's what I would do because I'm going out fighting.
You're making a show.
You're damn right.
It's going to be a show.
Someone's going to come mop up my shit. That's what I'm talking about, okay? You're going to remember Larry Lundstrom.
You might not be able to see my face,
This
but
guy,
I can see yours.
This guy wants 5 pounds of oranges for his last meal. Yes, I do.
Oh, my God.
Vitamin C. All right. Next question. Josh, we'll stick with you, brother. Josh, what's the last thing that reminds you were getting older?
The shit that comes up in my feed on my social media.
Okay.
More arthritis medication, lots of middle-aged women dancing on my reels. Just
God bless them.
Yeah, God bless them.
bless 'em.
Amen, sister. You get her done. But I don't get dirt bikes anymore and jet skis and that. Does your knee hurt? Yeah, fucking. This cream really works good. That's all the time.
And you're sitting there writing it down.
Yeah, click this link.
I need to
You'll
buy
ship
this.
it today. Great.
Yeah. That's a great answer, Dani, what's the last thing that reminds you were getting older?
Well, the fact that my daughter is about to be 21 and my granddaughter is going to be 2.
Yeah.
But the biggest one was the other night working at the KI. And this guy goes, "Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. You have a granddaughter. You look so beautiful for being that old."
Wow.
And I was like,
That's a
actually, I'm
backhanded compliment.
I'm actually young for being a grandma,
Yeah.
so screw you, bro. I was like, eat a dick.
Yeah. Mine was, I'll say it one more time, at the Greeley Mall. This Christmas time I was shopping, and there's little kiosks in the middle.
Oh, so the Greeley Mall still existed then?
Yeah. That's how, it was a couple years ago. And
It's been more than a couple of years ago. Let's be real.
Well, this guy had a little helicopter, the little toy helicopters. He's like, hey, great stocking stuffer. I'm like, I'm good. He's all, great gift for the grandkids. I'm like, grandkids? And I'm totally old enough to have them. You know what I mean? But I was like, son of a bitch. Shove it up your ass.
Way to be, dick.
My favorite answer so far is the guy who said that when he turns, he has to turn the radio down whenever he turns the car or whatever.
I do that every time I'm listening to.
That's about right.
Every time I'm listening to GPS, even though GPS is taking over my radio,
Right.
I turn my radio down and I'm like, this is how I have to listen to go to things. But I've done that since I was 21.
When I'm pulling onto a scale in the truck, it's a straight shot, by the way. The last turn was 300 yards ago. I turn it down because I'm pulling onto a scale. I don't know what that's about, but that's my favorite answer so far because it's the truth. I turn it down all the time. So, All right, Dani, what is something you had to fight hard in life for?
Respect. With the job that I work, even with family, it's been, oh, you need a better job. Oh, you need a real job. Or even working the job, it's just people being disrespectful to you. Mm-hmm. So I left from being a bartender to running a post office. My customers, because same community, would come in and try to talk dirty to me and be weird.
Really?
And I was like, no, sir, you don't get to talk to me like this anymore. I'm in a respectable job.
Yeah.
And then I go back to it as older. And I'm like, no, I never should have respected them speaking to me that way in the first place.
Right.
So literally just respect in the first place. It's not okay for anybody to speak to you that way in any given instance.
Right.
So
That's kind of an important lesson to teach your daughters, right? Yeah.
That's what I've tried to instill in my daughter because it was going on since she was born too. Yeah.
Good answer. Great answer. Joshua, what's something you had to fight hard in life for?
I say this and it's an oxymoron, but to get back to an easier life. I was raised on a farm. I was born on a farm. I knew that's where I wanted to be, but we lost our farm when I was real young, and so we moved to the city, and my entire life was trying to get back to just some semblance of that, figure out what that be. But I didn't want neighbors. I don't want, I want to have my own space. I want to be able to, if I need to, walk out on the back porch and take a leak in the middle of the night, and not have anybody get mad at me, or if I got a chicken out, I can run out in my friggin' muck boots and my underwear and nobody's gonna say nothing. But it took a long time. Went through probably almost 20 some years of my life knowing that's where I wanted to be, but was in the wrong place to get there, and then finally got there. And
nice.
Yep.
Although I pee in my backyard all the time, I live in the city totally. So
hey,
I'm just saying.
We all got a spot, right?
I'm just saying.
I have the best story though, because having a kid as a woman, everybody that's had a child as a woman watching this knows you can't freaking hold it as well. So there was one day.
When you're pregnant or afterwards?
No, like afterwards.
Okay.
So there was one day I got home, and you can see out my kitchen window, and I take care of my mom, whatever, and I'm literally just pull into the driveway as fast as I can. Don't even get in the garage. And my mom can just see that I'm peeing behind my car. And she was like, we have a bathroom, right? When I get in the house. And I was all, bitch, no.
There was no time.
There was no time. You're lucky I didn't stop a quarter mile up the road. In between me and us and the neighbors, I had to pee, and I had to pee now. There was nothing. I had to go now, and I had to go now.
Oh, I get it. Guys have that problem with the other end. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta go. I've had some
situations.
You know what I mean? See, she's smiling at me. She knows. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Hey, I'm telling you.
And the closer you get to a place that you can go to the bathroom,
the worse it gets. It's like
it's all of a sudden I could pee. And then all of a sudden, if there's a place, if you pass a gas station or something, it's all of a sudden bitch, you had to pee 10 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. You're gonna pee right now. You're gonna pee in your car.
Guys have a problem with the number 2. I'm telling you. No, it's honest to God.
I get it.
There's no atheist that's ever shit their pants, because when you got to do it, when it's coming, you start praying to whatever deity's listening. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You switch gods. It's whoever's going to help
That's
you out
why
here.
I sneeze and I have to cross my legs, and I'm like, please don't do it.
I gotta take these off. I'm done with those.
Okay. We got you on that one, Josh, already. Okay.
Too much.
All right, we'll stay with you, Danny. Danny, this one's from Jacob Norris also. Jacob Norris has dropped me a ton of questions. I'm going to get in Jake's head. He's here Thursday, so he should be fun. But Danny, what is a conspiracy theory that you think is absolutely unbelievable? As in, you think it's bullshit?
I have 5 going through my head. So it's a non-conspiracy conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Which now the government has already done what they've done. That aliens don't exist.
All right.
Because
Wait, which side are you on?
I'm on that they do.
Okay. All right.
So the conspiracy theory that I've gone through most of my life is people being they don't exist. And my biggest thing is, how are we so arrogant to think that we are the only thing that exists in this world?
Yeah.
This entire universe.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing for me is, why? Why would you think that we are the only thing that exists?
Right. I agree. I believe it.
So that's and I mean, obviously numerous things have come out recently, but that's the only one, because honestly, all of our conspiracy theories have proved right.
Well, some of them.
There's a lot.
For the most
There's
part.
a lot.
For the most part, over the last 10 years, most of the conspiracy theories have proved right. But it's a conspiracy because people were saying oh, they don't exist. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, no, they do exist.
Right.
And it's not because of anything personal to me, but it's not like I've been adopted.
Do you think they come from outer space or from a different dimension?
We'll talk about that later.
Right,
we'll talk about that later.
Right.
But no. But the whole fact that people think that something can't exist outside of us.
Sure.
We haven't even seen out of our own solar system yet.
Without our with our knowledge.
Right.
So it's because the conspiracy theory prior to that was aliens don't exist. There's nothing outside of us. And I was like, how are we so arrogant to think there's nothing even at the same level as us,
Right.
opposed to higher than us.
Right.
So,
But if they're higher than us, I mean,
they're gonna.
they could
yeah.
probably then maybe
They could-
they're here. We don't.
We all have watched the movies our whole lives.
Yeah.
Independence Day
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
my first introduction to it when I was like 7 years old.
God, you're so young. I hate you.
But I'm just like, why can't that exist outside of us? So
That's a great one.
That's
That's a great one. All right, Joshua. Josh, what is a conspiracy theory that you think is absolutely unbelievable?
I myself have several.
Hit me. Let's hear it.
This is my first. This was easy as my first one, but there's 100 out there. Flat Earth, absolute shit. Absolute shit. Like, first and foremost, like, if that's the case, granted, we have a huge blocker. Let's just use Colorado as an example. You got a 14,000 foot blocker on this side, but it's fucking flat all the way to wherever, and I can't even see Burlington where I was born.
Right.
There's a curve to the fucking Earth, okay? Like, I don't know what you guys need to see that, to understand. Like, ask any pilot how they navigate around the fucking planet. They'll tell you. There's a fucking deal we have to add into the computer to give us the curve of the fucking Earth to get around it, okay? All right. Other than that, that's the one that my hugest bullshit.
that was the hardest one that I had to come up with. And that I was just like, I don't know. Like, it was a not conspiracy theory that I had to come up with.
The girl I'm dating, you guys just met. We talked for a day or so, and she asked me 3 questions that she had to know about me, and one was what shapes the Earth? And I was like, round. So,
And
correct.
did you win?
You are correct, sir.
You won on that?
Yes,
Okay.
you're correct. Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
But I'll tell you this. I tell people that story, and when I tell people that story, some people get very quiet. And I'm like, oh, I didn't ask your opinion. Like, I guess I didn't ask
Right.
what you feel.
Right.
And then they're like, there's a lot of scientific. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yep, here we go.
We've been hanging out this whole time.
Here we go.
Yeah. So,
We've been hanging out this whole time, and damn.
I didn't know. Yeah. So,
No. I was trying to come up with the most, like, weirdest one that I could think of.
another one she gave me was the moon landing? Did we land on the moon?
I don't
No.
quite believe that.
I don't
Really?
believe it. Buzz Aldrin himself has said that it was done in a studio. So
what's
I'm just gonna sit back now.
So what's funny, like on that, so like she says, they filmed 2 sets of film because they didn't know if the film would make it through because of the radiation.
Right.
So they were like, we have to have something to send back to the people. And so there is a whole setup where like they're looking out of the lunar capsule out of the window, and that's literally in a fucking garage in Nevada. And they sent it that way so that they could say
Mars too.
Right. And so, like, and then you take it back on. So I heard this was a huge deal. I was listening on a podcast, and they were talking about this. So, like, you look at the nuclear blasts at what is the salt? What is the
New Mexico.
New Mexico? Yes.
yeah.
What is that place where they tested?
It was Saltwater
dang it.
Valley or something like
Anyway,
that.
yeah.
Anyway, so it's a huge place where they tested all these nuclear bombs, right? And there's video of the nuclear bombs going off. But what's funny is the film survived. The house destroyed, but this rudimentary bullshit fucking film somehow survived all this radiation. Like, and then you look at some of the, like, there's one where it's actually a house, and so they show the still footage, and so the one comes up, and it's this nuclear blast, and the house gets wiped off, and then they show it one deal sooner, and there's a car parked behind it that wasn't there, and you're like, wait a minute, fucking that ain't right.
So my dad was from Albuquerque, and I
White
literally
Sands.
my
Mexico.
dad, like, all the shit that I've known my whole life on the nuclear blast in New Mexico, he was like, yeah.
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 I gotta tell you this is the first time that question has appeared on this podcast, and I think that one's gonna go crazy. That's gonna be
I love it.
It'll be fun.
It was a good one.
All right. Josh, we'll stick with you. Josh, what's one piece of fashion that has went out of style you wish would make a comeback?
So I didn't know how to explain it, but if you've seen the show Peaky Blinders,
No, I need to. I know.
that's what I think. Like even though these dudes are some badasses, like they're some gangsters, straight up gangsters, like they're debonair looking guys, man. Trench coat, got the skag cap and the whole.
It's like the Italian and Irish mafia.
Kinda. Like, and even then, like you look back at some of like Dean Martin age and those guys that were like real nice dressed guys, like and that was the thing, and like Peaky Blinders, that was the only thing I could explain because that guy's a badass.
Yeah.
But no matter what kind of person you present as a civilized being, whatever. But I mean, I just see that guy sitting in a room somewhere sipping some whiskey, having a cigar, like reading a book, that sort of thing. That's what I would say.
That's a great answer. There's been some very interesting ones. There's been one very popular answer. We'll get into it in a minute. So, all right, Dani, what is one piece of fashion that has went out of style that you wish would make a comeback?
1950s women.
Okay. Like the...
So the very, like, femininity.
Okay.
The beautiful dresses.
Jackie O.
Yes.
Like the housewife look?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, okay. Oh, clearly we all know that I don't dress like that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's controversial to the fact that I would think that. But I would think, like, if it wasn't this weird, tight, weird, sexy,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I can explain it. But the beautiful dresses, like button-up dresses, bottomed it. But it's modest, and it's because that is why I dress the way I dress. I don't like the weird, over-sexualized.
Okay. You like the more modest?
I like the more modest.
Less skin.
So if I could wear a dress that was more modest and I get to do my hair cute every day, we'll talk about that. We won't talk about the fact that I like the whole 1950s before feminism.
What is that looked very,
The
very,
feminism? The feminism? Yeah. No, feminism.
Okay.
No, but I think it's cute that it's more like that's where I've always been.
Yeah.
I wear I'm wearing t-shirts. I'm wearing things that are more.
Show the skin.
Exactly.
All right.
I think it's more.
Less is more.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to say it without being a bitch.
This episode will be the last time that question appears on it for a long time. But,
Sorry.
No, it's cool. No, they rotate through. But the number one answer was bell bottoms. A lot of people said bell bottoms, and
Bell bottoms have already come back.
What?
It doesn't matter. My daughter, I was buying them for my daughter a year ago.
Well, that's what I've heard too. But I mean, it's not like they were in the 70s though.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, they were bigger. They were bigger than the 70s because me and my mom talked about this before I came here.
I don't think they're as common as in the 70s. Yeah.
No. The only
I don't know.
So the only other thing that I would say is high waisted
Okay.
for the 70s. High waisted, where you tuck everything in.
Yeah.
Fuck the low waist. Fuck the low rise of the 2000s. I fucking hate the low waisted 2000s.
Okay.
Because it made me feel like I was fat as fuck when I was 16 years old
shit.
and literally just made solid of muscle. But because you had this tiny little piece of fat hanging over your clothes. Fuck that shit. But I absolutely love like the 50s, like just the beautiful dresses that they accentuate every body. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is when I would wear a dress.
The other big answer was 80s hair.
No.
A lot of women have missed the 80s hair. The whole
They
thing,
miss that?
No.
Nobody misses that.
Do you remember when
Nobody
I
misses
was
that.
in those pictures?
Yes.
I don't miss that though.
I've been cut by some of that hair. You know what I mean? If a girl walking down the hall and drops, bends over and she hits you like, it sliced you, man. You know?
Oh my God.
Then your wound smells like Aquanet. You know what I mean? It's not good. It's,
I was just gonna say we gotta bring back Aquanet. Besides,
there goes the ozone. Fuck the ozone.
Exactly
Fuck you guys.
Exactly right.
Little 16-year-old Swedish girls will be mad at you.
In my junior high, if that shit was an Olympic event, I went to school with a couple of girls that would have been like Michael Phelps contenders. I mean, they had, the hair was like the Hispanic girls didn't play. I don't know what kind of technology they had. I mean,
gravity.
But I'm telling you,
I think a lot of it was hanging it upside down and then spraying and then.
You know, it's bad if I'm 6'2" and I don't hit the top of the door, but you do, and you're 4'11". You know what I mean? That's a problem.
Oh, I want to show you my preschool picture after this.
Do you have big hair in preschool?
Because it was 1990.
How
I think.
do you have?
My mom did my hair for my preschool picture. I have to show it.
And she has it like.
No, it's not that bad, but my hair was short. And I'll show you after.
All right. Okay, that was both great. Next one. We'll stick with you, Danny. Danny, what's a movie everyone loves that you can't stand?
Anything with Tom Cruise.
You don't like Tom Cruise?
Fucking hate him.
Okay.
Literally. Okay, so my mom, when we were younger, showed me, I think, Top Gun.
Now you're talking sacrilege.
No. I like the new Top Gun. Whatever.
He's in it.
I like the new one.
He's in it.
No, I don't care. But he's not the main character in it.
He is.
He is the main character.
Not in the new one.
Hey, who's the main character then?
He wasn't in the new one.
Yes.
Yeah.
If who?
What's it called?
Top Gun.
Maverick.
But that was the whole thing.
No, he wasn't.
So who's the?
I think your brain blocked it out. You're like, I like this movie, but I don't like Tom Cruise.
No. I don't like Tom Cruise though.
Okay.
I don't like his face. My mom showed me Top Gun when I was little, and I was like, I don't like that man.
What about beach volleyball? Tom Cruise with no voice.
I've never watched any of Tom Cruise's movies. Never. I've never watched any of his movies. Mission Impossible, any of that shit. His face annoys the fuck out of me. I don't know what it is. I just don't fucking like him. And I know he was in the new movie, but he wasn't the main dude anymore.
It's named after him.
He's literally Maverick.
No, I know that. That is the one. No, in the old. But he was Maverick in the old one.
Yeah.
He's not Maverick in the new one.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
I don't think you've seen the same movie.
Well, I might have just fallen asleep during. Anyways, I don't like Tom Cruise.
Okay. All right.
I might have half-assed passed out in the movie. The new one.
Okay. All right.
No, the new one. I don't.
The new one's actually.
He's not Maverick in the new movie, is he?
Block your mouth thing, because it's a fantastic movie. It's fantastic.
No. I watched it.
Okay.
I watched the new one, but I didn't realize. Maybe because he just looks so old.
Did you get the Temu edition?
But on Tropic Thunder, if you watch Tropic Thunder, he's got a cameo.
That's the best.
It's fantastic.
That's the best.
I've watched Tropic Thunder, and I literally
rewind it.
Oh my god!
I literally no. I fast forwarded through it. No, I fast forwarded through it because I literally his face annoys me.
That's funny.
I don't know what
he doesn't age. I don't like. He does not age.
He's a vampire.
There's something.
Adrenochrome.
Yeah.
What?
Huh? I'll tell you when you're older.
Scientology is that what you're talking about?
No.
Okay. All right. All right, Dan. All right, Josh. What's a movie everyone loves that you can't stand? Please, Jesus, say Maverick.
No. So, my wife will kill me, but Harry Potter.
Oh.
I cannot stand
That's my favorite shit.
I can't fucking stand him. Oh my god. I watch him every single night because my wife, that's how she sleeps. That's what makes her comfortable. She's killed people in her life.
I told you that.
And she sleeps to Harry Potter. It soothes her soul. And luckily I can fall asleep in 30 seconds because I can't stand one bit of that.
I get grief because I also fall asleep in 30 seconds, so it's a dude thing. But My mother watches Harry Potter. Like, when we go to her house, it's playing, and I'm like, nerd.
Are you calling me a
I
mother?
can't stand. I mean, Lord of the Rings, I loved.
Love it.
A lot of classic like war movies like that, older like sword fighting type thing, wizardry type thing. Love them. But Harry Potter, it's just ridiculous.
I've seen the first one.
Can't stand it.
I haven't seen them to make a judgment. I've always seen the first one. You're a Harry Potter fan.
I can't
That
stand
is
them.
what I fall asleep to.
You know what I want to
every
see? I hope when they make the next or the last Harry Potter, Tom Cruise is in that shit. That's what I hope. That's what I want to see now.
Oh, I'm gonna hurt my.
I'm hoping it's the last Harry Potter. We
Yeah,
should have already had
yeah.
that. Should be no more Harry Potter.
Oh my god. That's why it's Nebraska.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't help it.
All right. Josh, this question you kind of answered already, so if you want to skip this part, we can. Josh, how would you explain color to a blind person?
So I originally said this. I was trying to think of this, and the best way possible is like. So when I was younger, I was in some class. I don't even remember, but the teacher asked us, "How do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?" Okay, and a lot of the class just writes down, "Well, I put the peanut butter on the bread, put the jelly on the bread, put the bread together, eat that." And then the teacher breaks it down, and he was like, "Well, where'd you get the bread from? How'd you get the peanut butter from the jar onto your bread?" Like all the instructions that you missed in between. And so like it really came to me in the other question that came about, because I had to just come back to it. I didn't know what I was going to answer, but I started to say like hot and cold, like put your hand in hot water. Well, that's red. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Like what is that? Doesn't tell you. Like if I was to blindfold you or to take you to Mars and tell me, all right, on Mars, what is or even not even that. If you were here on Earth and I told you, if you didn't know the flower and I told you to grab the flower, could you tell me what flower it was? Even though you'd seen it a million times.
Right.
Could you grab it and say that? Right. So when color came down to it, I was like, I don't think this is even possible. I really don't. I don't think it's even possible to explain, because to us, that's just what we were told. Like who in the hell named green green? Who named blue blue? Who is that person that decided that's what we were, And so in the grand scheme of things, for a person who's never seen it, that's where they have the huge advantage on us, is they don't worry about shit like that. Like, like to them, they're experiencing the world in an entirely different realm from what we deal with every single day. And like I said, that's where it brought into the other question of I drive home from work every day and I see eagles flying and antelope and deer and all this crazy stuff. They never see any of that. Like that's we just pass it by like it's just a normal thing. Right. And so that was the thing for me, is I don't think this question's possible to even answer. Honestly, there's no good way.
This question has been the toughest one on this podcast so far.
Oh, I know. I was so mad at you for it.
Oh, but this kid's from Matt Gordon, so hate him. Danny, how would you explain color to a blind person? You can skip it too if you don't want to answer it.
Food.
Okay, that's what I said.
Food is the way that I would explain it. So, like, in orange. Okay, clearly orange. But it's bright, vibrant. Mm-hmm. A lemon. Sour, like...
Bitter.
It's very bitter and sour and here was my biggest ones, was white and black. White is water. Black is it's a full done steak.
Okay. See, for black, I would just tell them it's the absence of all colors. So
I would so for like black, I would be like, it is a well done steak.
Okay.
But white is water. And then like orange but do you want to know what I would do for red? The sun burning you.
Because the strawberry is too much. It's
No. At first I thought strawberry, but then I was like, but that heat on you.
Yeah.
That's when you turn red.
Yeah.
So that is most of my shit was food.
Okay.
Because I really like food and like food content and everything. And then I was like, but for red is the sun burning you and just that heat on you.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, mine was too. That's my exact answer. But like for green, it'd be something minty or something like
green. Green would be broccoli.
Yeah.
Like tasting broccoli.
Yeah. Brown would be chocolate. Brown, or shit, whatever you want to do.
I didn't
Depends how well you
even
like 'em, I
think
guess.
about brown.
Yeah.
I thought about white. I thought about white, black, orange, red, and yellow.
For brown, I'd say just lick my arm. Okay.
Oh my God. No. My mom ripped my ass on my drive here and was like, why would you associate it to food? So this is the whole funny thing that you were like doing other things that I was like, I had like actual answers to that.
Yeah. All right. Danny, we're going to stick with you. Danny, this is the last question.
Oh Lord.
What is a talent you wish came naturally to you?
Gardening.
All right.
Not gardening.
No, like,
Literally
yeah, no.
gardening.
I get it.
Because my mom has a black thumb.
What's mean
But-
what?
Like
She kills
she
everything?
kills everything. So like literally my mom had cactuses in our house because she's very Native American,
Yeah.
everything decor. She overwatered.
She killed a cacti?
Oh, so many cacti. But then my uncles that are like the hearts of my life are like, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is how you grow this. This is how you grow this.
Right.
So gardening that I've had to like
A green thumb. Just
Yeah.
A green thumb, yeah.
a green or a black thumb.
Right. I have 2 plants in my house I've kept alive for over 2 years.
2 years?
It's impressive. I'm
Hell
impressed.
yeah.
I'm impressed. And now that I tell you that, I realize I haven't watered them in like a week. So now I got to go home and do that. Yeah, that's absolutely.
Better check
it.
that
That is my biggest
Yeah.
thing though,
Yeah.
that I'm like, I want to know how to garden properly
Yeah,
to flourish our family.
yeah. So
I should just shut up.
my tree out front, I put like the little brick around the little brick circle around the tree out front,
Uh-huh.
and I tried to plant like flowers to make it all beautiful. I don't know how I messed it up. There's like one that came up, and the rest it was awful. It was so bad. It was like, but that one flower, I was like,
Me and you, kid.
oh man. Yeah. I knew in the package the blue one's gonna make it. The blue one's gonna make it. You know, I spent upwards of $5 on these things. Okay, so I mean, come on, Danny, what's happening?
Is there a guarantee on these?
There
These
should be.
died. Like
I'm planting them with a little trowel and a spoon.
Exactly.
You know. And yeah, I don't know how far to bury them. I'm reading the instructions, and whatever I did, I totally screwed up. So yeah,
No. So my uncles like will tell me how to plant things, and then my mom is like, I killed a cactus when you were 10
Yeah.
because I underwatered it.
My father has a green thumb. He doesn't have any plants, but he grows marijuana like a Batman. He's very good. My buddy Tim worked for Pepsi, and he goes, "Can you get CO2? Can you get CO2?" I'm like, "What do you need CO2 for?" He's
you can
like,
get that at any store.
but he wanted CO2 from Pepsi. I don't know why. Because it helps grow the weed, I guess.
Because
Yeah.
it was free.
Yeah. He goes and gets bat guano from some store
Oh,
in
yeah.
Springs. I'm like, yeah, well, that's a.
I use chickens.
Chicken shit.
Chicken
Chicken
shit's the
shit.
best.
That's
The
Bring me
best.
some, bro.
Hey,
We don't
the
live that
best.
far from each other.
hey, it's T-Rex shit. See, we came
T-Rex
full
shit.
circle.
That's
We came
T-Rex.
full circle. We came
That's
full
called a
circle.
callback in the
That's
game,
That's
right?
a callback. You know what? We should start calling it T-Rex shit.
T-Rex shit. That's
Genetically, I bet we can prove it to be.
That's
I'm
it.
pretty sure.
It's black gold.
We just need to do this.
All right, Daniel.
T-Rex shit.
Danny, or I'm sorry, Joshua. What's one talent you wish came naturally to you?
So I didn't know this till my grandma passed away, but when I was a kid, she was very into the piano, always played the piano. Tried to get us to play. I was never any good. Found out that she actually went to Juilliard, the School of Juilliard for music, for
Seriously?
piano, at her funeral. I found out at her funeral.
Wow.
And I didn't even know it as we were growing up. I wasn't a huge piano guy, but I was into music, and so I wish I could play guitar. I have owned a guitar for 30 some plus odd years, a really beautiful Fender acoustic guitar. I have no idea how to play the fucking thing. I've tried.
Yeah.
I got a buddy who was super good. He came over and he was going to, give me some lessons on the cheap. And he even gave up after 2 times. He's like, nah, dude, this is not for you. You need to figure something else out. So I wish that was my thing.
I had my heart set on learning the guitar for a long time. I got the Guitar for Dummies book at my house. I bought the guitar, what was that called? The
that holds the chords down.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Dude, I could not get that. I'm just not musically inclined at all. It's horrible, man. And
It's like this.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And so trying to do this and make the sex face at the same time. There's nothing. There's nothing. It doesn't all come together.
Can I see it one more time?
You want it one more time? You ever seen John Mayer? I can't stand that guy. Like John, he plays a hell of a guitar, but you look at his face and you're like, what in the fuck is that guy on? Like look at any great guitar player when they're in the middle of a huge jam and they're just like, that's the sex face. That's their sex face too. Same face.
I found a video online about this old guy playing guitar, but his eyes are bulging out of his head. Have you seen that video? The old guy.
The old guy with the hair blowing in the
his eyes are just like whatever he's on, man. It's
That's probably somebody from Def Leppard or some shit.
It's some old dude, man. He's just playing it. I mean, he is intense.
Yeah,
man. He's so intense.
The acid kicked in.
Can we acknowledge for a moment?
Go Big Red.
Boomer Sooner, bitch.
Go you.
Sorry.
You know why they don't circumcise dudes in Oklahoma?
Why?
There's no end to the pricks. That's my best Nebraska joke right there. That's all I got. It's the only rivalry I accept in Nebraska's deal. We have a lot of rivals. CU says they're a rival. They've got 30 years to catch up to us to be a rival.
We're not even in the same.
I know, but we used to slug it
league.
out. We used to be there.
Know.
The Thanksgiving game, Oklahoma, Nebraska, that was the shit.
That's why I wore this shirt, because I knew you.
Yeah.
Starting fights on the podcast, David.
I know, right?
It happens.
Well, guys, those are all the questions. What'd you think?
I loved it.
Had fun?
It was great.
Yeah.
Dani got a hold of me. She's all, you have a new podcast? Yeah, I go, she's, what the hell? I go, I don't know. Well, you're not first on my mind. My bad. I'm sorry, Dani,
Right.
But no.
No, I get a sign
a
fucking 7th time up there.
You're P14 for sure. But before we get going, I do want to say thank you to the Brush Emporium, man.
Yes, exactly.
210 Clayton Street, thank you so much for giving me this little podcast studio down here to do what I do. They've been so super supportive, man. This is a great place to eat. My little lady here is here from Wyoming, and this is all we've eaten here. How many times so far?
A lot.
A lot.
I mean, you couldn't. If you live here and you don't eat here, there's something wrong with you. Honestly, that's all I got to say.
The podcast that comes out tomorrow is Dana and Gilbert, and they bring you up in the podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're like, he's going to come get wings, right?
You guaranteed, baby.
But it's great. Upstairs, they have a great seating area. And if you look on the north wall, they have a bunch of board games out there. Mm-hmm. So you can come do an old school family night with your friends, your family, whatever. 210 Clayton Street, they have everything, ice cream, pizza, pasta, wings, breadsticks, all the kit and caboodle. So please make sure you support them. So if you don't support small business, it goes away.
That's
right?
Yep.
Also, if you like what you saw on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little red dot. That's our subscribe button. Go ahead and click that. It's a small click for you, but a huge click for us.
Hell yeah.
That's all my horn I got to do right now. Guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man.
It was always good.
Me.
It was good to see you. I think you're the first returning guy.
On this one, I think probably
so.
On this one,
yeah, the first returning. So the nice thing about this is every 12 episodes you can come back because the questions will be all brand new.
Nice.
Because you didn't have any.
No, these are not.
Quit trying to make me cry.
Yeah,
no
that's
duplicates.
what it is. I will make sure to be in there. So anyway, thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.